Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime!
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you again.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Shannon Keegren with Boise State Softball. Summer in Idaho is the best time of year. Rodeos, camping trips, and the hikes that end in views you'll never forget. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're here to get you there. With a team known for incredible customer service, the best new and pre-owned inventory, and a commitment to making your experience easy, friendly, and fast. But here's the best part. Every purchase here helps support Boise State athletics through their NIL partnerships and athletic sponsorships. See you soon at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
What's up, Bronco Nation? How we doing? Happy Thursday, July 30th. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. My name is BJ Rains. We are in the Sun Cruiser Studios. Presentation of Lithia Ford of Boise. Perfect time to get out that new or pre-owned vehicle at Lithia Ford of Boise online. LithiaFordBoise.com. We got a great show scheduled for you today. We got Jeramiah Dickey, athletic director at Boise State, coming on. We're going to talk about banana ball. We're going to talk about the north end zone being completed. I got some footage I want to show you of the north end zone as well. We went on a tour yesterday. I want to ask Jeremiah about those jersey patches we're starting to see pop up on some schools around the country. So a lot of cool things. And of course, we'll take your questions, your comments for the athletic director from Boise State, Jeramiah Dickey. Get those questions in now. He's going to join us a little bit later in the show, about 15 minutes away. And we'll have plenty to talk about with the athletic director at Boise State. We've got New York checking in. Appreciate you. We've got Minnesota, Billy D. Appreciate you as well. And I think today's your day, Billy. I think we're going to play your video today, actually. So appreciate you for sending that in. Although you sent it in vertical, we need it horizontal, guys. Horizontal videos from now on. But we're going to have Billy's play today for our 40 in 40. We got Robbie. We got Jim coming in. Mile from the blue. Go Broncos. We got North Carolina checking in as well. We got Wahoo. So all the way from Hawaii to North Carolina watching the show today and everywhere in between. We appreciate all of you guys and appreciate you guys for checking out Bronco Nation News and supporting the show here. So make sure you're liking us on all of our social media channels. Make sure you're following all that good stuff. We got Mission Viejo, California as well. Jake Anderson, thank you for watching. So love watching, seeing where everybody's from and always giving the shout outs and things. So appreciate all of you no matter where you're watching. And as I started to say there, give us a like on YouTube. Give us a subscription there on YouTube. Only takes a couple of seconds. Give us that quick like and sub. And if you're on X or on Facebook, we would encourage you to go over to the YouTube channel. That's the easiest spot moving forward here for all of these shows and for you to know when we go live. And you can turn on that little notification button. And right when we pop on live, regardless of the time, you'll get that notification. That helps for pregame and postgame shows, or maybe the time's not going to be exact. And you can do that. And then you'll know right away when we go live. So Tennessee checking in. Appreciate you, Ethan. Sunny Florida, as always, with Scott Ford. So always appreciate you guys for checking in. So a lot to get to, as I said. Jeramiah Dickey, Boise State athletic director, and a lot of cool stuff as we get set for banana ball on the blue tomorrow night. And yesterday they gave the media an awesome tour of the North End Zone project. Let's show some footage of this tour here momentarily when it loads on my computer. But what a facility, folks. The media got a tour, and this is me with my iPhone, so it's not necessarily the smoothest or highest quality video here. But this is the main entrance. You walk in, you see the Broncos there on the main entrance. It is phenomenal. And you see so the main entrance here is actually a dueling purpose. It's where all the members that are staying in the North End Zone, if you have seats there, a club, a suite, you're going to walk in right here through this main door. But this is also for the student athletes in every sport to come and get their morning bagels, their coffee, their protein shakes. They want a snack between class. That's where they're going to get it right there in the front there. So it's a double purpose station there. Now a new area for all the athletes to come get hydrated and fed. Now you walk out that first area, then you have the long tunnel. On the right here is going to be a suite area. A lot of former players that come back, families of the coaches, their wives and kids will get to hang out in this area over here to the right. Nathan Burke gave us the tour, so we appreciate him for that yesterday. And then as you can see, they have the netting up for banana ball already. But this is the tunnel and these are the field level suites. So this is the view you're going to have for the field level suites. You see some external tables and chairs. There's more inside. But now this is your view you're going to have. And there's, looks like a lot more space there for banana ball, but the end zone comes pretty close up to the edge of that. So it's not a lot of extra room there. And again, they've got the banana ball stuff set up. Now, this is the main entrance to the Simplot Club. You come back out that tunnel and you turn to the right, and this is what you're going to see. All these tables, all these chairs. You see a bar right here to the left, a couple of TVs there. There's even a fireplace. I don't know if I show that or not, but one of the things, all the suites are to the right here, all the field level suites, and we'll show you more about those. But one of the things they purposely did in this area is there's not a lot of branding for Boise State. They want to have weddings. They want to have corporate events. So there's not a lot of Boise State actual logos or things in the middle part of this club. So you could have any kind of, generic party, wedding, whatever you need to have. And they can change the lighting on the top to kind of match Boise State a little bit. And they've got some TVs they can put that in. But there's only one big Boise State logo that you're going to see on the exterior here, and that's right there by that staircase. Now, the Table Rock, $36.50. These are the different suites and things There's Travis Hawks' suite down there to the far right. But each suite owner got to pick the mountain range and the elevation that they want to put on there. The Salmon River Mountains on that one, 10,443. And I believe that's the elevation on each one of these. So each club has is designed and was picked out and has the pictures there of the choice of the suite owner. So here, as you walk into one of these suites, you get nice sized TV there. You got a nice table here for 6. And these were custom made tables. And then you see the garage, the sliding doors there, so you can go out there, and that's your view from your suite right there into the end zone. You're going to have a great view of the touchdowns and the plays there at the end zone. But you see the seating there outside for, I guess, 6 or 7. Then you get another 6 here at this table on the interior. There's a mini fridge. You got your counter where your food will be. You got your TV right there to be in the air conditioning if you'd like. Nice size suite for folks that want to watch the game with their friends, and you're right there in the end zone, and that is your view as well. There's countertop space. You got 2 of those high top tables in the back, and then, as I said, the space there on the counter and all that good stuff right there. So this is the only Boise State branding you're going to find in the middle. Now, right now, the garage door is open, but that says Broncos. That's where the team is going to come out from before they run out to the field, and that's going to be their path right there in the middle of the north end zone here. So they're going to line that up with some stanchions, and then people in the club are going to be able to stand on both sides of that tunnel there. And there's Chris Van Sickle, our man, looks enthused for the tour here. And they're going to line folks up on the sides, and they're going to be able to slap 5 with the players as they walk by. And they're going to have a whole cool entrance there. But, it's going to be really, really cool. Now, the next shot right here, this is with the garage door closed. And when they open this before the game, you're going to see the players just standing there. The guy holding the hammer is going to be right in the front. They're going to have all of the smoke going. And then the players are going to slowly walk forward. And again, there's those stanchions they have right there on the sides. Those are going to be lined up along the side here of the walkway. And then the players will walk right through the middle tunnel onto the field. The only time the players will use this tunnel will be the one right before kickoff when the 7 Nation Army is playing. The rest of the time, they'll go through the outer tunnel that we showed you earlier on the right side. So there's some spotlights they have up in the ceiling. They have all kinds of cool stuff there in terms of the different lighting and the different options that they have there. So you can see that there's like spotlights on the floor. There's Don Day getting lighting all over him, his back there. But that's kind of just to show you what that's going to be right there. So you move further down to the right of the club. This is a very high definition, like 4K TV that'll be able to show up to like 8 games, I think. So they're going to have the Boise State game on. They'll have some other national games on. And if you're hanging out in the club and you want to watch some college football, maybe at halftime, before the game, whenever, they're going to have all kinds of different games on there as well. Now you walk into the new recruiting lounge. And this is a pretty cool area because if you see the lighting up there, this is also where the post-game press conferences are going to move to. So you see the lighting, and there's the new recruiting lounge. They'll be able to put the sponsor logos and things on the back there, and they'll put the podium right in front of that. And they've got all these high-powered lights and things. So they can do photo shoots for the recruits and things in there now. There was actually a women's basketball player doing a photo shoot at part of this. And then, as I said, right here is where the post-game press conferences will be with Spencer Danielson, and they'll have probably the Coke or the different sponsors behind that. But very cool area for the recruiting lounge. And because this is now the recruiting lounge where recruits are going to hang out during the games and stuff, they're actually going to put a blue and orange store pop-up area with all kinds of gear and things in the old recruiting lounge. So you can now go purchase stuff in the old recruiting lounge and go into that facility to buy some things there. Now you go up the stairs. We just showed you that stairwell with the big Boise State mural. You walk up to the second floor of the club. And again, sorry, it's a little shaky and not the perfect thing here. Nathan Burke holding the door for me. You walk in here, another big bar on the second floor of the club. You see the old school logo down there. They're going to maybe have some tables and things here for folks. And then all of the garage doors are going to be open on game day. So it's going to be an open area, and you walk right out here, and then there's the club seats. We'll show you more about those from the top level. And right there, so another bar, another open area on the second level. And that's going to walk right out to all of these club seats, which overview the north end zone here. There you see the baseball field ready to go for banana ball here in a couple of days, and the field, which has been repainted the best they could. So now here's the club seats. If you have one of these I guess these are called the Loge boxes, but each one comes with cooler. We'll have drinks in there. I guess beer. soda. I think you pre-purchased those and put those in there, but a couple chairs there on the counter level and then a couple high top chairs behind them. But I believe that seats 4 for the loge boxes there. And that is your view. And you see those loge boxes right there, all come with their own mini fridge and areas to wear. Now we make our way around to the back. This is a circular bar, and it's going to be available on all 4 sides, basically. If you're in the club on the other side, you can walk up to that side of the club. If you're on the back side where we are right now, this is open to the general public. So if you have just a regular seat in the stadium or a standing room only ticket or something, you can walk around the back area of this, and you'll be able to just use this kind of circular bar and buy your beer, your seltzer, whatever it may be. So that's Spencer Danielson's office right there to the far left. And then that'll be there. And then right here, finally, this is where the new blue chaos flag is going to go. So it's right there in the corner. Everyone's going to see it right up here on the new plaza of the north end zone. And it's going to look right there into the field. And so it's going to be a much better visual when it comes to the flag and the blue chaos and all that there, when it comes prior to kickoff. So that's your kind of mini abbreviated tour of the north end zone. It's going to be awesome. It looks really, really cool. Are there TVs on the public concourse? Would be awesome to hang out area watching other games, grab a drink, and watch warm-ups for the casual fan too. I believe that area, Blake, where I just was, I'll see if I can go back and show that. I believe the new bar here, right here, is going to have some sort of TVs or things on it, and those are the kiosks where you can buy it. But I think they want this area to be like a beer garden where folks can just hang out. And so, yes, I do think there is some plans at some point to put some TVs. Not everything is completely done yet. For Banana Ball, they don't have all of some of the decorations and things and some of the TVs. Yeah, right there, you can definitely tell there's a spot for at least one TV right there. But I believe, there's another one right there too. So I think they are going to have some TVs, have some games on. You can hang out and get a drink right there. I believe that is the plan, but we can maybe ask Jeramiah Dickey about that when he comes on. Only thing I hate is that this used to be my view for $25, but man, is this thing sick. Now, they did say that one of the things that they wanted to do was keep everybody priced in the same price point. So if you were in the north end zone, I believe they moved you to the other end, maybe in the corner of the upper deck. I'm not sure, but I believe they honored your price, or at least came pretty close to the price you were paying in the north end zone. And I do know that is some of the concern. All the rowdy north end zone fans are now all the rich people that are just going to sit there and be quiet. I understand that. I get that. We won't know until the game gets going, what that is. But it's certainly going to be a different feel in that end zone. I do think, though, because there's more seats in the corners, that's going to do a better job also of, keeping some of that noise in there. So maybe there's not quite as much noise down there, but maybe it's going to be just as loud. I don't know. So we'll keep this discussion going. Jeramiah Dickey's going to join us here in a second, but I do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise. Online at lithiafordboise.com. You see Roger Carey on there, Jeramiah Dickey, Spencer Danielson. They've got vehicles with Lithia Ford of Boise. And excuse me, you can as well. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online, newer pre-owned vehicles, lithiafordboise.com. Pearson Carmichael's with ICCU. Maddox Madsen is with ICCU. We'll be telling you more about Maddox Madsen's new deal here shortly, but there's a branch pretty much on every corner around town, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking. So easy to use. Rain's family is so happy we made the switch, and you may think you like your banking experience, folks, but just some of the little things you don't realize what you're missing until you make the switch to ICCU. They're on board as a Boise State sponsor now, so check them out online, ICCU.com. Rowpaint.com, all your painting needs. Check out rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe and Company can do those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs. Make sure you hit up rowpaint.com. And Element Fencing, elementfencing.com. They've been in the fencing business for more than 25 years. Brady and his staff ready to help you build that perfect project from the ground up. Element Fencing, decks, pergolas, they can do it all. Check them out online at elementfencing.com. I want to thank Signature Roofing as well. Signature Roofing, covering our community one roof at a time. They've been around for more than 2 decades, and we appreciate Signature Roofing for their support of Bronco Nation News, whether it's a completely new roof, whether it's a repair to your roof, an inspection, an estimate, all your roofing needs. Make sure you hit up our friends at Signature Roofing and leave us a voicemail as well, speakpipe.com/BNN. I did see, I think our man, if I can find the thing here real quick, looked like our man Bob Schuler said he had someone from rowpaint.com coming out to his house today. So I can't find there it is. Rowpaint doing a project for us today. Awesome, Bob. Let us know how it goes, but great to hear. And thank you for supporting the sponsors. Andy and his staff will do a tremendous job. I'm pretty sure that. Skyler, appreciate you. We played your video the other day. Hope you were watching when you saw that, but it would be a sweet place to host some watch parties. Yep. And maybe for some road games, that's something they'll do in the future. Who knows? So a lot of good comments coming on that. Looks sweet. Wow. Let's see. Does this upgrade make us the best facility in the Pac-12? I will say this, folks. It does make it does give it a big time feel, because they've made some other small changes too. They have added more ribbon boards on the far side, both sides of the stadium. Now the ribbon boards where all the ads and things are on the facade of the upper deck now curve all the way around, and they put brand new ones in there. There's a brand new ribbon board all on the north end zone as well. So I think you're just going to see a lot of changes. It's just when you talk about the lighting and the sound system that they've put in the last couple of years, the new bigger scoreboard, the north end zone project, now more of the ribbon boards, the new blue. I mean, I heard Nathan say it yesterday, but it really is true. When you walk in, it just gives you that feel of a big time facility now. It's big time. It really is big time. And they're not even done. They're already talking about other changes and getting the seating slope out closer to the field and getting the capacity raised. I mean, they really want to make some significant changes to the stadium here. And this is just the first start on what they have on their list. I think they're well on their way, and this is a really nice thing. Guy is bummed there's no general admission anymore. I get it, but there's going to be some standing room maybe that you can kind of walk around if you don't have a seat. But there was something special about the north end zone, no doubt. A lot of people have memories there, and it was a cheap ticket. They had the family zone tickets there as well. Totally get it, and I totally get the criticism of that. But if you're thinking big picture, and everyone says, oh, it's all about the money and all this and getting greedy, like, unfortunately, folks, it is. Like, they need to continue to make as much revenue as they can to raise the rev share and pay the players and pay the coaches to stay. And like, it is all about the money. So are they pricing out those folks? No. I mean, they put similar pricing other spots in the stadium. Do they change the experience for some of those folks? Like, yeah, they probably did. But in the end, you got to find a way to increase the revenue. And if you have donors willing to pay for those suites and willing to pay for those club seats, you've got to go, you got to do it. So they've always had trouble getting people to come into the game early. Having this might help that issue. Yeah. A lot more area on the concourse, that you can walk all the way from one side to the other. Now there's that extra space back there behind that project, the plaza in front of the coaches' offices. That's all available for you to walk through as well. And, there's a lot more space. There's going to be a lot more drink kiosks and stations down there. You can buy some beer or seltzer, whatever. There's going to be way more of those kiosks set up, so there shouldn't be as long a lines in the concession stands, hopefully. As I said, there's going to be some more merchandise areas as well with the blue and orange store and stuff down there. So I think that that would make sense. So looks like the Birmingham Stallions are leaving. Just make the uniforms blue. I know they said that ship had kind of sailed a little bit, so maybe we can bring that up to Jeramiah Dickey if we have time, but I don't think Boise was back on the front of the radar. I mean, again, remember, Don Day and reporting and my reporting, we found documents where Boise State had a verbal agreement to bring a UFL team to Boise, and then it fell through at the last minute. They went back to Birmingham. I believe that was going to be the team that was going to come to Boise, but now we're seeing Oklahoma City. We're seeing some other spots for expansion. I would love to see it in Boise, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. And they kind of have everything. Everyone I've talked to, they've kind of poo-pooed that as something lately that's on the front. But we'll have to see on that. So we got. All right, appreciate that. What are the odds of Boise State scheduling a game in Syracuse for New York fans? Don't think I'll ever make it to Boise, being I hate planes. All right, well, appreciate you for that. I don't know. Thank you for the $5. That's very nice of you. I don't know if I can put that on the screen here. Where is that at? There it is. We'll get that on the screen there. I don't know if it'll stay because that goes away after a while, but we'll try to remember to ask him this. But thank you very much for the super chat there. And what are the odds that you can get a game in New York? We'll see. Let's see, $5 million in revenue. It's a big deal. It really is, folks. That's such BS. We are, quote, rich, and I guarantee you my wife is the loudest damn person in the stadium. Every game she loses. All right, there you go. All right, congrats for being wealthy there and being successful. Congrats. Good job that your wife's loud there. So appreciate the comment there, Quintana Show. And yeah, I'm not saying everybody is, but that is one of the claims is that, everybody just it's just going to be a different feeling and atmosphere down there in the north end zone. I think that is true. Concourse expansion will help. Yeah, it will. Yep. East side and they're good. And that's kind of next on the list too. They really do want to do some things to the east side of the stadium in terms of the restrooms and concourses and things over there. But certainly if you're on that half of the east side, you should just come on down to the north end zone, because behind there's all kinds of restrooms and like I said, you can buy drinks and beer and food down there as well. So a lot of options down there for folks that want to do that. So no, I think it's a really cool project. It was awesome seeing it. And tomorrow for Banana Ball, I think it's going to be really, really cool. And the Banana Ball field looks awesome. And I'm going to try to get a picture of that up on the screen here and talk to JD about that. But I think it's going to be really cool. I really do. I think it's awesome. And I think it's something that people are really going to like. You're going to like it. And it's just super cool. It was a project that when you see it, you saw these renderings and everything. And then you're like, wow, it actually looks like the pictures do. A lot of times you get all these, different drawings and renderings and all that, and it never ends up looking like the actual, picture does. But it's very close to what the actual picture is supposed to look like. And I think they just did a tremendous job on it. So I think it's a really cool project, and I think people are going to like it. And I think that's, that's something that over time, they're going to keep adding to it, keep doing new projects and things, and you're going to keep seeing stuff. And next thing you know, I mean, the stadium already doesn't look like it did when I got here, even 13 years ago. When you think it just continue to add and make it bigger and better, and it's going to be really, really cool here. So Jeramiah Dickey is scheduled to join us any second. So I'll thank a couple more quick sponsors while JD gets logged in here. Hey, Jackson's. Check out Jackson's by Extra Mile. You can save those 2 Coca-Cola products. We'll get you a $32 savings at Jackson's. Again, if you want to go to Roaring Springs, buy 2 Coca-Cola products. Our man Simon Avalos, appreciate him, the whole crew there at Coke and Jackson's. So check them out and head over to Jackson's if you want to go to Roaring Springs. Taco Bell, appreciate the Nicolason family as well. Just made that $1 million donation within the last month or so. So return the favor if you're looking for a delicious meal. The Cantina line of options is great. They've renovated a lot of their restaurants. So return the favor, folks. They're supporting Boise State in a big way. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. I mentioned the Blue and Orange store. We're going to talk to JD momentarily, but one of the cool things is some new kiosks for merchandise and stuff with the Blue and Orange store down there in the old recruiting lounge. So a lot of cool things going on. The Blue and Orange store, your officially licensed Boise State merchandise. Check that out at the Blue and Orange store. Again, online at theblueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. We appreciate the Ridley family based right here in the Treasure Valley, big supporters of Boise State athletics, and appreciate Mark and his family. So if you want to think local, folks, head on out to our friends at Ridley's Family Markets. And of course, Matt Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, now the Northwest, and probably soon enough the entire country here with the way he's going. So we appreciate Matt and his team. Bought and sold our home using Bauscher Real Estate, and you will not be disappointed. Matt Bauscher, again, BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, we appreciate Jeramiah Dickey, Boise State Athletic Director, nice enough to jump on here. JD, I know it's a busy couple days for you guys, and you got Banana Ball, taking over tomorrow, and the North End Zone officially unveiling. So a lot of excitement right now in Bronco Nation, and we appreciate you giving us some of your time. How we doing?
Good morning, BJ, and good morning, Bronco Nation. You're absolutely right, BJ. I appreciate you calling out the work that goes into stuff like this. You guys were out there doing a tour of the North End Zone, and I'm sure you saw Nate and his team. They've been grinding, from monster trucks to now preparing for this and adding, building out the new turf and obviously finishing up the North End Zone. It takes a team, and our staff has really stepped up, and I'm really grateful for that. And it's having an impact on how we tell our story, the story that we tell, and ultimately it's going to drive more revenue to us, which very much helps as we continue to navigate this industry.
I showed some of these footage earlier, but I'll show some more footage while we're talking here, just of the media tour yesterday. But you've seen this project kind of throughout, so this wasn't like a big shot. You've kind of seen it as it's gone. I know Spencer said he didn't really want to go in it till it was done to kind of be wowed by everything. But for you, seeing and I know there's still some minor tweaks being made, a couple TVs still going up, a couple things on the walls, whatever. But just for you to see all these images a couple years ago and to think back to putting that shovel in the ground and before a basketball game on a cold Saturday in a January, I believe, just to think about what it has turned into here in this building and what fans are going to see tomorrow night for the first time. Just what are kind of the emotions for you this week?
Yeah, very similar to Spencer, BJ, and Nate and those guys give me a hard time. I've probably have gone over there once every few months, if that, and Nate would know because he tracks it. He gives me a hard time, but it shows the level of trust and faith I have in our team, but it also shows our mentality of I want to see the finished product, yes, but it's always what's next. We can't afford to stop. We will never settle. And so seeing this thing built and the work going into the planning of the east side and west side overbuilds and other projects that I see in our future, and really empowering our team to go. We had the plan or the vision and the plan, and that's part of our mentality and process. So most recently, being able to go over there and seeing it, in a finished state, and obviously there's little things. It's amazing. It's absolutely elite, and I believe we accomplished that, as a team, but for Bronco Nation, and maybe more specifically, BJ, our student athletes. Student athletes went through it this week, and got to eat in there, and really grateful for Chartwell's and all the work that goes into this, but it will make a difference. It will impact our department in so many ways, and not just from a revenue standpoint. It's going to allow us to have all of our student athletes in one place and create an environment for them to create relationships, and being a Bronco is important, and once a Bronco, always a Bronco. And so I always go back to the student athletes and the impact. It's going to be outstanding. Very rarely, BJ, do you go through a process and the facility actually turns out better than the renderings that you sold people on. And I believe that. And obviously maybe I'm biased, BJ, so I'd love your thoughts because I know you guys got to go through it. But when you look at the renderings and it's like, all right, it's cool. It looks awesome. But then you walk through it and you're like, oh my God, like this is amazing. This is exactly what we needed. It's at the perfect time for us as we go into the Pac-12 and get to open it, obviously Savannah Bananas, but with Memphis, this is what can be done if we all work together. And that is really important. That's an important message that you'll continue to hear moving forward. And we are not finished. We cannot stop. That's what's happened in the past. And you and I have talked about that before. We had a decade where we stopped, and if good becomes good enough, it very quickly it will become bad, and we have to avoid that. We have to fight that, and it's human. It's no one's fault. It's human, and so we're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to look at other projects and things that will be impactful for the fan experience, the customer service, from a liability standpoint and from a revenue generating standpoint.
Well, you've done so many things, Jeremiah, that people have been asking for, wanting for. And I know the big one is, hey, bring baseball back. Hey, you did it. Baseball on the Blue is coming up tomorrow night. You see a look at the field here, and these are from some of the corner club seats here. Just for you and another, big undertaking. You guys have done a lot of concerts. You've done monster trucks. You keep adding to the list, but to have a baseball field on the Blue and to have 2 sellout crowds the next 2 nights, Friday night, Saturday night, just what do you make of Banana Ball coming to the Blue and they're taking over the parking lot with the merchandise tents and everything. And by the way, from 12, I think it's 2 to 5 today, folks can go down today and get some advanced merchandise. If you don't want to wait in the lines, you may see the Reigns family down there getting some gear, but what do you make of Banana Ball and the way the field looks?
Well, obviously baseball comes up a lot here, and in some ways this is for our past. This is for those Broncos that went through that unfortunate situation, and this institution has gone through that twice, BJ. I believe they dropped it in the late 80s, early 90s, and then obviously added it back, and then it dropped again. And I know this doesn't solve all our problems, and I know there are a lot of people out there that want us to add baseball, but I think this gives a vision that, in terms of how our department operates, putting a baseball diamond on the blue turf and being able to tell a story around it and monetize our operations in the meantime. And, we're never going to be a finished product. And my hope is, as Broncos, because innovation means nothing if you don't live it out in action, that's important for us to really hone in on and build off that foundation that everything is possible. It's if you're willing to do the work to make it happen. And so bringing in the Bananas, I think it does open up our minds. I saw Andrew Rich, our new softball coach, tweet out a blue field. And that's something we've talked about for softball. Blue is such an important piece to us, and to align with a national brand like Savannah Bananas, and I know ESPN and so on and so forth. And to put it on this field that is internationally known, It's awesome. I really appreciate Nate and Jordan and Chris and Allison and so many others that have worked tirelessly on making this happen, and our external team and the tickets. We expect both sellouts. It's going to be a packed day tomorrow and Saturday. And I'm praying that, this front comes in and maybe blows out some of this smoke.
It's supposed to, I think, hopefully next couple days, hopefully they're going to be much better.
That's what I'm hearing. And so I'm really excited. And then BJ, I'm throwing out the first pitch at the Hawks on Sunday, as long as the game doesn't get moved.
Okay.
And so I'm a little nervous about this. I'm used to playing with my kids in much smaller fields. So on Saturday, I'm going to need to go out there and maybe throw some practice pitches so I don't embarrass Bronco Nation and my family.
That's awesome. I mean, usually you're the one heckling them. I hope they're heckling you there as you're getting ready to throw that pitch there. So
that's right.
It better be a strike. By the way, Bob Schuler was the last catcher on the Boise State baseball team in 1980, and he always is a great viewer and supporter of us here. And he chimed in 1980. So I know Bob is a big supporter, and when they came back for that brief time, he went down to Texas for their first game and was there for that. And I was down there with the paper covering that, and I remember talking to Bob. And so you do have some members of that former team that are watching. I would just say that.
And I'm grateful, BJ, and I can't say this enough. Yes, it takes a team, but everything counts. Everything matters. And the decisions, right, wrong, or indifferent, yesterday's solution, today's problem. It does ultimately put us and others in a pickle. And that's something that drives us to do more, to be better, it's 1% better every day. And I don't ever want to get to that situation. And I think dropping sports is counterproductive for anything that you were doing from a brand standpoint in your department. And so I feel really bad for wrestling and swimming and diving and baseball. It should never have happened, but it did. And God willing, as the industry corrects itself and we create guardrails and whatever else, my hope is in the future, and whatever the future means, BJ, I don't know if it's 5, 10, 15, 50 years, but that is something that is important to me, because they're Broncos, and I want them to always feel they can come back and be a part of this regardless of what happened. And we're going to control what we can and try to make it a better situation in the future.
Jeramiah Dickey, our guest, Boise State Athletic Director, joins us monthly here, and we really appreciate it. Now, we have the official Jeramiah Dickey show, it sounds like, starting with Jay Tust over there on Bronco Studios. So maybe these visits will have to stop. I don't know, contractually. Hopefully not, JD. We love it having you on.
You're not stopping, BJ. I'll still jump on.
We don't want to steal the viewership from Jay there in the official Bronco Studios, but we do like being able to have fans ask questions and kind of ask you some things. Yeah. And one of the things that I know, a couple hot topics here, JD, while we have you, is the jersey patches. We've seen a lot of talk lately. Some of these big time deals, Notre Dame, Ohio State, they're getting $20 million or whatever from the jersey patch on some of these. Where are you guys? I'm sure you're actively involved in that, but are you close to anything? Do you hope to have something for football season? Are you happy with the numbers being thrown around? What is the possibility, and when might that happen? You guys get some jersey patches.
Yeah, I think there's some realities of the situation. I think this week, BJ, you mentioned Ohio State. I think Notre Dame announced Illinois. So as we get closer to the season, you're going to see more teams do that. What's important to me, BJ, is we're not going to sell our soul. Like, we know what our value is, and we're looking for the right partner. Now, that blue has power, and we do represent something bigger than ourselves. And so I'm not going to just throw any sponsor logo on there. It has to be the right sponsor, and it has to be someone that's in the foxhole and that's united behind what we stand for and what we believe in and what we're building off of and what the future holds for us. And we're so fortunate. Learfield and our BSP team and our department, we've been working on it for quite a while, as is every other institution in the country. And what you're finding is most of these are outside of, like, say, an Ohio State or a Notre Dame. They're local or regional partners. And so we have been actively, pushing it, promoting it, trying to sell it. But once again, there is a value that I think is important to us. I know every dollar counts, but I also know we represent something bigger than ourselves. And when you think about the blue and the power of that uniform and the success over 3 decades, I'm not just gonna to put anyone on there for any amount of dollar. There's a value that we're honing in on. because we know the value of our brand. We know the viewership numbers. We know the social media impact. We know the storytelling and so on and so forth. And so I'm very grateful for the people that have shown interest. And obviously I'm not going to speak to who they are, but we've had a lot of people step up, and it's really we have some runway. But I want to make the best possible decision for us. And that's ultimately going to be on me. And we know that when the season starts and the time frame that we need to get something on there, but being a new asset and something that does have value, we want to make sure that we monetize that to the best of our ability, because every dollar does count for our department and how ultimately I'm investing back into our student athletes.
So you do expect that you'll have jersey patches on though when the games roll around?
I would expect, but I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, BJ. Okay. At the end of the day,
you mentioned it's got to be the right fit. Like we see some of these where It's just the opposite color, like the Kansas City Royals are like white and blue, and they have this red and red Quick Trip logo, and we have like the Atlanta Braves like are just opposite colors of the team colors. Like you got to have something that looks good. Like you just come on, keep that in mind here. You can't just have not selling your soul here. We don't need a yellow jersey patch or something, right?
Right. And look, I'm for, to a certain extent, this NASCAR mentality of like, I'll put a logo anywhere because there's value in it. But when you think about that value of putting it on your student athletes and playing on the blue or playing and starting off at Oregon, there's a tremendous amount of value. And we're trying to educate BJ. It ties into everything that we're doing. When you think about, like reseeding and some of the tough decisions that maybe I've had to make, there's intent and purpose behind it. And it isn't for personal gain. It's for the betterment of our department and how we ultimately serve our staff, student athletes, and supporters. And so I want the right partnerships. And we have some phenomenal people in this community, but there's a value on the service that we provide, and that's something that's important to me. And so we're going to continue to push, but I also, I'm not willing to sell my soul, like I said, or to do something that would be counterproductive to who we are and what we represent, and that's a top of mind. And our team is working really hard, and I believe something will happen, but I'm not going to overpromise and underdeliver. At the right time, something will potentially be announced or it won't. But we always have that asset, just like we do a lot of other assets that you may not see a logo up. It's because there's a specific reason for that. We want a certain partnership it isn't just about a logo. Like we're looking at business to business type partnerships and people that can help us in other ways and potentially campus and for that matter. We have a new president and I very much care about our institution and the academic mission and what it represents in this community as well. And so there are a lot of moving pieces that it's like a naming rights opportunity for your stadiums. The jersey patch is new. It has a ton of value, but I don't want to, we're not going to sell it, under the value of what we believe we can get for it, because I do believe someone will step up, and I have a lot of faith in our team and the success ahead.
And maybe it's a similar question. We can just make the answer shorter, but would you say it's similar to you guys can now put a logo on the blue, right? Can you get a company? Okay. Yeah. That's something you're looking at too.
Yeah. But you also, there's some nuances to it. Albertsons is very important to us. We have some, Lithia Ford, it's on it's on this show, and I got to hang out with Jim last night, who's just awesome. And I did a commercial yesterday, rode around with Matt Wagner and who he's just a phenomenal student athlete.
Oh, that'll be on BNN here in a week or two, probably. We're ready for it.
There you go. He's awesome. And it's, you want to, like, we have certain sponsors and you want to protect them because they have been investing at a very high level and because they believe in who we are and what we represent and the value of it. I want to make sure it's the right people. And that's important to me. And especially when it comes to the blue, BJ, that has so much value to us, and who we are. And, I was thinking about this other day, BJ, from the time the blue was put in, to probably Coach Cutter, I guess, was the first time outside of this community, there wasn't a lot of fanfare around it. And I think about Eastern Washington and it's not a shot at them, but like, I'm not sure how much people care that it's red. but the value of the success that's been had on blue together has built this brand. And now you look that everyone knows the blue. I mean, we had over 40 plus countries visit last year because we track all that. And that's important to us. That's important to this institution. And it takes a team, and I believe in Epic.
Jeramiah Dickey, our guest, Boise State Athletic Director here on Bronco Nation News. Now, yesterday when we got the tour from Nathan Burke, and he's going to join us tomorrow. I think I'm actually going to do my show down from the north end zone tomorrow to kind of help unveil the banana ball and just have fun and kick off the day tomorrow. Nathan's going to join me on the show. But he gave the tour, and he almost kind of said something that I think like you guys wanted to get out and wanted to make it kind of a big deal. I don't know if it's to put the pressure on the state or what, but he was asked about what's next, because that's always the question you ask on these things. Okay, this project looks great. What's the next one? And he brought up Extra Mile Arena and a lot of the issues that are coming with that. And I did, had me and Don Day, he was standing there, and we both kind of looked at each other when he said it. And I had my reporter hat on, so I followed up. But he basically said it's going to cost a lot. You know where I'm going with this, but he basically said it's going to cost a lot of money for a lot of deferred maintenance projects that have to happen in the arena. You've got air conditioning, you've got a lot of pipes and things that just need to be replaced, and it's going to cost a lot of money. And he basically said you guys are going to do some studies, or maybe you're already doing these studies about how much that's going to cost. And then you have to weigh whether or not it would just make sense to just build a completely new arena. I don't know if that was more just talk to get the state to give over the funds, or if you guys are actually looking at that. A lot of people have said for years a smaller arena with more suites. We saw Baylor do that. Texas did that. I don't know how likely that actually is. If you would just go play downtown arena for a year and rebuild it in the same place. I don't know how far down the line you guys are in any of those thoughts, projections, whatever. But what can you say about Extra Mile Arena, the cost that's going to cost to make some changes there? And if one of the options, even at 1%, is for you guys to maybe look at a new facility there.
Yeah, BJ. I want to be clear and don't want it to get twisted. It's not to put pressure on state or institution.
Oh, I said that. You guys did.
No, I know. I know that. I know Nate's hard, and our team has talked about this at length. And our mentality. It's always what's next. Like as soon as we put shovel on ground on this, we started on doing the research and acquiring the data so we can put pen to paper and you plan the work the plan. Extra Mile, and this is a shout out to that staff. It is withstood time. It is a phenomenal facility, but it is original. And those things were built to last back in the day. And so when you look at the HVAC systems, it's the original HVAC, and we have band-aided it, gorilla glued, duct taped, as much as we possibly can. And so Nate brings up some valid points that, that is part of our process. That is why we announced the MMQ study and what we're going through with them. And most importantly, BJ, I want to be transparent. It's much easier to just be honest and transparent about things. I think our industry is lacking in that right now. And that's something that's important to myself and our team. There are some realities to this. There's a reason we did reseeding, and with what we want to do in the future, with Extra Mile, and we have to run out every ground ball because I want to be fiscally responsible and create something sustainable, for our institution and department and ultimately Bronco Nation in this community. And so, yeah, like if you get to the place that this thing is going to cost as much, if not more, to refurbish, to then just build a new one, like that's something we have to consider when you think about the number of events that we're going to drive through Extra Mile this year, and the value that brings, not just to this institution or department, but to the downtown community and the space. This is where it takes a team. We know we have an economic impact on this community. We know we have an economic impact on the downtown community, with the number of events that we're driving in and whoever's coming to Savannah Bananas the next 2 days, and where are they coming from? And are they staying in hotels? Are they flying in? Are they driving in? And whatever that looks like, we know we have value. And that's something that's important to us to continue to tell the story around. For many years, this department has been taken advantage of. And that ties into the sustainable model as we move forward. It also ties into what I walked into in terms of us settling on who we were. And that's not who we are. Like, we are Broncos and we are bar raisers, and we are going to continue to push the envelope and do what's best for everyone involved. And, and the more teammates I get in that foxhole and the more people that are running with us, epic is possible. And that's the mentality. And so, I think about the deferred maintenance and these massive state assets, and our community assets that we are driving over 5,000 plus events through our facilities. That's hard to fundraise for. And so we got to figure out solutions for that. It ties into the East Side Stadium project or the entertainment district. We want to provide more value. We want to grow the pie that ultimately supports our community because it is important. And BJ, I'm a firm believer, like whatever the date is, that you're going to be driving from Ontario to Boise and you will not leave a community, just like you drive from Dallas to San Antonio and you are consistently in a town because of the growth. We have so much opportunity to grow. The bad part is Idaho's not a secret. The good part is Idaho is not a secret. And people are coming in because Boise is a tremendous place to raise your family, and Idaho in general. So you're seeing growth in Idaho Falls and Twin Falls and so on and so forth. Like that's something that we have to be prepared for. We tie into quality of life. And so we have to continuously improve. I want to get Albertson Stadium to 40,000 capacity because I know we can sell those tickets and have a bigger impact. And that ties into serving our staff, student athletes, and supporters. I want Extra Mile to be elite. We have the Zags coming in, San Diego State and Utah State and Oregon State and Washington State. Like that's important to us. And you're going to see our attendance increase. So we need premium space in there, but there are some deferred maintenance things that we have to figure out because it's a significant cost. And that's something that we're going to put pen to paper and we'll see what happens. But I have a lot of faith in this community and Bronco Nation.
All right, final thing or two, JD. I saw the tweet from Ross Dellinger this morning. The Protect College Sports Act obviously is a big topic out there. Lawmakers sent conferences a, quote, last and final version of the Protect College Sports Act around midnight, revising key sections and setting a 10 a.m. deadline for the leagues to agree. He says Big Ten and SEC have a president's call set for a vote this afternoon. What do you make of the Protect College Sports Act for folks that aren't super familiar with it? What are the ramifications for Boise State? How much are you following this? Your thoughts on all that?
I'm following it every day, BJ, and getting updates. And obviously Ross and Pete Thamel and some of these guys, nationally, the Athletic has a bunch of people that are also following it. And so it makes it pretty easy, to stay in the loop on these things. Plus, being a part of that subcommittee and the contacts made and obviously the work that Therese is doing with our conference. And I think everyone saw earlier or late last week, she was mentioned as one of the conference commissioners that had a seat at the table in terms of some of these negotiations and discussions. And, we're going to put our best foot forward. I don't believe there's anything that's perfect, but I do believe in creating rules that we can hold accountable to and guardrails so we can create a sustainable model. And I've been very vocal about this, and it's not an indictment or an attack on any one person or program or conference or whatever else. At the end of the day, BJ, we all represent something bigger than ourselves, and we've lost our why. And I said it earlier, today's solution becomes tomorrow's problem. And we have to think ahead. What do we want this to look like 5, 10, 15 years from now? And you don't want to look back and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. And so, the fact that we need the federal government to insert itself, it is what it is. That is at least a governing body that oversees everything, and it's not necessarily the NCAA's fault. NCAA takes a lot of blame. There were a lot of presidents in that room and ADs over the course of time and head coaches, speaking into this. And, there's a lot of blame to go around, and I'll take my responsibility as a sitting AD right now. But, I do believe that we will get to something, whether it's this cycle or next. I just don't see a sustainable model ahead that if we don't have that level of support federally, unless somehow all the commissioners can come together and say, guys, if we were starting from scratch, how would we create this? And to me, it simplifies it. But right now, what everyone's fighting for is the competitive advantage they have, or in our case, the disadvantage we have. I don't think they blame us for saying, hey, we want more than one seat at the table. We want to be represented. We want rules because we're tired of being by being the farm league for some of these bigger programs, just like college football is the farm league for the NFL. Like, there is a better way to do it. If we can start there and throw everything at the wall, we will find solutions. And I think, this Protect College Sports Act and all the work Cody Campbell and others have done. And the fact that Senator Cantwell and Cruz and, there's some alignment on this, like that gives me a lot of hope. We're making progress in inches at a time. We need miles, but I do believe that we will get to an outcome that will at minimum create, a foundation for us to build off of and fix what I would say our industry has broken.
Well, final question for you, JD. A week from right now, we'll be watching practice number 2 of fall camp here. Starts next Wednesday, less than a week away. How are the season ticket sales going? How you feeling just about the fan interest in Bronco Nation coming into the season? And how excited are you, I guess, just to get this get officially rolling with practices next week?
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm just excited to, riding around with Wagner yesterday. It fired me up, man, to hear that these guys have grinded this off season, to hear that it's been one of the best and hardest off seasons. You got to really want to be a Bronco, and these men on the field, represent something bigger than themselves. And that's the name on the front of that jersey and the blue that they play on. And they've really embraced that. It's hard, BJ, to get to the top of the mountain. You could say like CFP and we get there, but then to stay is even harder. And I think last year was a great learning lesson for me in terms of what can I do more of, and Spencer and the collective staff and the team, and really, like, change is inevitable and you have to embrace that and how we approach it. And so I've seen just this staff and these kids, coming out of last season, really started during last season, just approach this season much differently. Now, what does that mean? It's 1-0 for me, BJ. It's 1-0 mentality. It will always be 1-0 mentality. Winning is really hard. You can't guarantee outcomes, but you can guarantee processes. And they've committed to a process, and I'm just really proud of them. So I'm excited to see them on the field and getting pads on. Obviously they go through that transition, from just walkthroughs to pads and hitting, and I'm even more excited to kick this ball off against Oregon. That's going to be an important game for us in general. And I know it's important for Bronco Nation, but we're back. You're always in season, so it doesn't feel maybe any different to me because our guys have been here year round. They were here all summer and they were just grinding. But to be able to see them play, and compete, that makes me really proud. And then from Bronco Nation's standpoint, I think we had put out, so you'd have to correct me if I'm wrong. I know what our goals are. I know we put out like 18,000 plus, and we're going to get over 20,000, BJ. We're going to have to grind to get to our goals. We need Bronco Nation to step up, now with the North End Zone and selling out of ledge seats and loge boxes and suites. We got club seats that hopefully Savannah Banana attendance will, people will see that those are just outstanding seats. It's not a typical end zone seat, and the access in the club and so on and so forth. And so I believe we're going to sell a lot more of those over the next month. But everything is moving in the right direction. Our students are fired up and excited to welcome them back to campus because their section is right by that visiting team tunnel. And that's going to be important in terms of the competitive advantage that we have on the blue. So every game, everything counts, everything matters. 6 games, 6 sellouts. That is the expectation. We've done it 2 years in a row, and we need to make it a third. And this is who we are. And so I'm really excited what that looks like. And I think men's basketball, BJ, I think Coots told me this week that our renewal rate is at like 85%, and so all the stuff I get about reseeding and whatever else, like the reality is Bronco Nation has stepped up, and Bronco Nation is they are putting the money where their mouth is because they want to be a part of this and they want to impact us winning, on the field of play. And that's important. And so we're going to keep moving forward. We went through a lot of attrition. We've backfilled some positions, and, I'm having to make some tough financial decisions for our department, but it takes a team. And I'm really proud of our guys, from where we were, in April and May to where we are today, and what we've been able to tell, BJ, while we've been able to get in front of, the mayor's office, the governor's office. The governor has the athletics working group. Like, we're making progress in every space. The $2.5 million donation from, the Sonner family, and just can't thank them enough, BJ. Like people are stepping up, and it makes me so proud to be a Bronco. And so we're not a finished product. We will never be a finished product. We are bar raisers, and there's more to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to work through.
And yeah, your last announcement about 10 days ago was 18,955, so about 19,000. And by the way, as of yesterday, now single game tickets are on sale as well. So folks can go back now and buy you want them to buy the season tickets, but if you want to pick your individual games, those are available on sale as well. So you can get those now. So JD, appreciate your time. We going to see you down at Banana Ball with the kids this weekend?
Oh yeah, they are so pumped, BJ. I don't watch a lot of Banana Ball. That's no offense, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but my kids absolutely love it. I'm sure yours do as well, and so they're very excited. I'm not sure we're doing both nights, but we're definitely going to be there tomorrow. And like I said, I'm hopeful this smoke clears so it creates just an elite experience for everyone, and really excited to see you and your family and Bronco Nation down there. I'll be in the north end zone, and experiencing that with our family and friends, and it's always what's next, BJ. Go Broncos.
Hey, for the first pitch on Sunday, you better go all the way to the top of the mound. None of this like walking 10 feet from home and just lobbing it in there. You need to go all the way to the top of the mound, and you need to, put a little don't bounce it. Just don't bounce it. You need to get a little speed on there and get it all the way to home plate. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right.
And make sure your wife or somebody's videotaping that. If Chris is coming out to video, we need some footage of the first pitch there. Now, my guess, because you're like perfect at everything, it's going to be a strike right down the middle at 80 miles an hour. But I mean,
I've tried not to think about it, BJ, because like when they ask, they're like, "Don't bounce it," and I'm like, you think, was it 50 Cent that like threw it into the dugout? Or
they've hit mascots, they've hit the guy taking the pictures, in a private area. They've all kinds of stuff. And I remember the documentary for 9/11 when they came back after that, and it was the Yankees in the World Series, and President Bush was throwing out the first pitch, and Derek Jeter went up to him and said, because it was the big moment for our country and all this, and Derek Jeter said, "You better not bounce it." And it was like right as George Bush was walking out onto the field, and he's like, "Thanks." You can't bounce it. You put some speed on it, and both your kids are solid baseball players. They can both your sons. They can give you a few pointers, I'm sure.
Oh no, they're going to get me back for all the pointers I give as a fan. I feel like
it's not as easy as it looks, huh, Dad? Yeah.
My favorite thing, BJ, is when all the kids yell at each other to because they jump out of the way of a ball, and they all say like, "Just get hit," and it's like
wear it,
yeah, wear it, Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be yelling, but I'm excited. I love our partnerships with, and relationships with the Hawks and the Steelheads, and it's important. It's important for this community, and so it's cool to be out there. I think the Hawks do a great job in terms of the experience, and so I'm excited for it on Sunday.
Tequila Gus says, "Ask Johnny for advice." I don't know if you've seen Johnny's first pitch before, but he's done a Boise Hawks first pitch a couple times and has not been pretty. So. Just got to do better than Johnny did.
That's the bar. I can get over that one.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man. A lot of great comments coming in.
Love you.
JD. Outstanding job. Everyone's loving you on here. So appreciate it, JD. We'll see you tomorrow night. Best of luck with the unveiling of the north end zone. We'll be there as well. I splurged for this will be the only time I can ever experience the north end zone. So I splurged, and then we'll be down there as well. So we'll look forward to seeing you. It's going to be an awesome time, and can't wait till tomorrow. So thanks a lot for your time, Jeremiah, and we'll be talking to you next month, I guess.
Thanks, BJ. Thanks, Bronco Nation. Love you.
There he is, Jeramiah Dickey, Boise State Athletic Director. Appreciate him for jumping on and giving us about 35 minutes of his time, almost 40 minutes of his time today, talking Boise State, and obviously a lot going on with the Bananas this weekend. And again, tomorrow's show, we're hoping to be down at the north end zone. So if it all goes well, we'll be live at the north end zone. We'll have Nathan Burke with us, and we'll be able to do a live show down there and show you some of the things in the north end zone. And don't know if we can be on the field because I believe they'll be having the rehearsals going on for some of the skits and things for the Banana Ball stuff. They do their morning rehearsals on some of the dances and things. So I don't know if we'll be able to show you the field, but we will be able to. We will be hopefully down there tomorrow for the North End Zone project. So appreciate Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor. Whether it's a iced tea vodka, lemonade vodka, make sure you pick up a Sun Cruiser. And as you heard him say there, Jim Sturk, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor, folks. You just had a 35-minute chat with the athletic director where you could ask him questions. A free show here on YouTube thanks to our sponsors. So if you like the free shows, you like the pregame, postgame shows, you want to see a live show from Autzen Stadium on the field, support the sponsors, folks. We've told you about them throughout the show, and that certainly includes Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise. New or pre-owned vehicle, head on into Lithia Ford of Boise. Tell them you heard about it on BNN, and they'll give you the best available price. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Thanks a lot. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. We got that 50% offer, and it might even be 60%. I think it's going to 60%. It may have already started. 60% off for fall camp special. So hope you guys can subscribe and help us out, and we'd really appreciate that here at Bronco Nation News. So have a great day. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., we'll be down at Boise State. Appreciate you for that. and looking forward to it. But go subscribe. Go check out all of our stories and content at BroncoNationNews.com. We are less than a week away from the start of fall camp. Can't wait to tell you all about it starting next week. Have a great day, everybody.